Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video, another heavy rotation. Now, you might have seen part of this last heavy rotation. I put up a heavy rotation 45, maybe a week and a half ago, and I watched it back. There's some things about it I just didn't like, and so I kind of pulled it down, edited it a little bit, and so this is going to be like two different shooting times. So part of it is just, part of that video, and then I've added some things. I've added a treat at the end. So the local news came and interviewed me. It's so funny. On Friday, they came in the shop, and I'm working. I'm trying to get everything ready for Saturday because we had this huge jazz drop yesterday. And they came in and they're like, "Hey, would you like to talk about the roads in Charlotte?" And like, to be honest, I don't really, I don't have anything to say about the roads in Charlotte. And but I had been in an accident. I got in a car accident last week. It kind of tweaked my back a little bit. It wasn't my fault. It got rear-ended. But anyways, so I was like, yeah, I'll talk about it or whatever. I mean, the goal is, anything that can get exposure for the shop, So I said, yeah, sure. And so I'll talk about that at the end. But if you stick around at the end, I'll show you the whole news segment on it. It was pretty funny. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it. But anyways, and then I also, there's a few more things I've been listening to. And thought I'd throw those on at the end as well. So I already get started. So if you already seen this part, you can fast forward. But I think only like 500 people watched it. So yeah. So just stay tuned. We got a lot of cool things I'm going to show you. So check it out. One that I'm super excited about: Dennis Wilson, Pacific Ocean Blue. I've had this forever. This is a promo copy. Dennis Wilson's obviously one of the Beach Boys. I don't know if you've heard of those boys, but the Beach Boys are awesome. And Dennis Wilson's, I know Brian's everybody's favorite, but Dennis is my favorite. I just identify with him so much. He's such a cool dude, and he's actually the only Beach Boy that surfed. I don't surf, but just like, I don't know. I just like his approach to things. But the production on this album is tremendous. I absolutely love this record. If you haven't heard this record, go check it out. It is good. Very, very good. But anyways, so I've had this forever. Love it to death. And I've heard the tales that there's this elusive version, this advanced promotional copy version, where he did a whole handwritten cover. And he wrote a note, and he signed it. And it only went out to certain like radio DJs and people that had studios and friends and family stuff. Like really super, super rare. I don't know how many. I would guess under 100, maybe under 50. I don't know. I don't know how many. If you know, let me know. But judging from what's become available for sale online, I think only like 10 have come up for sale online ever. So they're super, super rare. But here I have one. Shout out to my buddy Billy Hurst at Riverbend Records. He's a good friend of mine. We do deals back and forth sometimes, to trades and things like that. I look out for him. He looks out for me. That's how we keep it real here in the record world. But he got this in, and I was like, man, he does the same thing as me. Locals get first dibs. I'm like, get your first dibs. If it don't sell, please let me know, because I want it so bad. And it didn't sell, thankfully, and I was able to get my hands on it. This is an artifact, I think. It's very, very, very cool. Now, I did later find out that this is his handwriting, but it was printed on there. And they all say the same thing. But he wrote "Dear James," and then he said he signed his name Dennis Wilson. So it's autographed. It's an advanced promo. It's still like super cool. But they all say, "Dear whoever," this is "Dear James. This is my first solo album away from the Beach Boys. I'm sure you understand that I'm a bit nervous about this endeavor. I want to thank you for your support, and I would be very interested in any comments or suggestions you might have after listening to this album. Thank you, Dennis Wilson. P.S. If there's anything I can do to assist you, please call or write me at Brothers Studio, Santa Monica, California." Very, very, very cool record. But I just, man, never thought I'd have one. Never thought I'd see one. And it's super special. Very sentimental album in my collection. Will keep forever. Thank you very much, Billy. You are the GOAT. I'm not calling you a farm animal. That's an acronym for greatest of all time. Anyways, next up is this Sahara's Living Ain't Easy. This is a North Carolina hard rock grail. Been looking for it for a hot minute. and got this. It was a sealed copy, but I opened it up and listened to it, and it's got, it's hard rock. It's got some boogie to it. Very, very, very good record. Killer. Like I said, I've been looking for it for years, just because, in the area you kind of get to know what the gems are, the local gems. And this is one. It's from Taylorsville. It's a studio in Taylorsville. The band is from Hickory, so very cool record. Thrilled to have tracked that down. My buddy Chris brought this in on trade. This is the Oneness of Juju. Original press. The vinyl's super clean. Sadly, this was destroyed down here. The water damage. But yeah, this is cool. I'll show you the back cover. But super, super cool record. But I'm not going to pronounce the guy's name, but it's autographed. 2021. A friend of Chris's knew him or something and got it autographed. But this is, if you like, it's more, I think it's more on like the free funk side than the free jazz side, but whatever. It's very funky, soul, free jazz, whatever you want to call it. But this is right, when it comes to jazz and funk, and this is right down my alley. The Oneness of Juju, they have a couple records, few records, I don't know how many, but all of them are excellent. I love it so much, but been wanting to track down some originals. This one is definitely a grail for me. Hopefully one day I'll upgrade and I'll get one that doesn't have the jacked up cover, but anyways, you probably hear the 20th century sounds in the background from an intro to a DVD my son's watching in the next room. So having the new system, which I'm obligated to talk about in every video because I spent so much money on it, but I've been trying out some audiophile records. I forgot I had this, and I was going through some records in the garage to sell in the shop, and I saw this. This is the Boston Half-Speed Master. This thing is tremendous. Sounds incredible. Now, there is a Boston Mo-Fi. It was mid-90s, 95-ish, maybe 96, maybe 94, can't remember. But it's super, super rare and worth a ton of money. I don't know how that sounds. Would love to hear it. But this is a really good sounding record. Let's just talk. I don't talk about popular rock very much, but this is one of the best for me. I love Boston so much. This album, I listened to it like crazy when I was a kid. Very, 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 very good album. Obviously, what am I even telling you for? You already know. Let's see what else I got here. I got a bunch of stuff, man. Got this 30-second turnoff. And actually don't know a ton about this other than it's a really cool Psych record that sounds a lot like... this guy is definitely a Jimi Hendrix wannabe. This is an original press. Super clean. Sounds exactly like Jimi Hendrix. It's crazy. I had it on the shop the other day and everybody's like, I've never heard this Hendrix song. What is this? I had like 10 people say that. And I'm like, this is not Jimi Hendrix. It's 30-second turnoff. Some Psych band Hendrix ripoff. But still, very, very, very cool record. Just one of those. I wasn't familiar with it and saw the cover and kind of listened to some clips online. I was like, yeah, I gotta have that. So I bought that. Very cool. This is one. It's called Child. It's on Jubilee. I've been listening to this a little bit lately. It's a Psych record. Got some killer guitar, beefy guitar lines on it. Very good stuff. It's been living at the shop for a while, so I've been throwing it on and spinning it. And thought I'd finally bring it home. But really good. I think they're pretty cheap. I don't think they're expensive, but regardless, great Psych record. This is one I've been listening to a lot lately, especially in the shop, because I got a copy in the shop and I got a copy for myself. See, a lot of people won't buy a record that they've never heard before. So I put records on that no one's ever heard before, and then when they say, hey, what's this? Then I'll have it for them they can buy. But I buy records based on the cover all the time. But a lot of people aren't that way. Anyways, this is called The Mail Must Go Through by The Cult. This is a tremendous funk record. There's two original pressings of it. This one is one cover. The other cover is a little more risque. But this one is on Mad About Records pressing. Very good. Sounds incredible. But it is a funk machine. Man. The title track, The Mail Must Go Through, is tremendous. Track 2 is Back Pay, which is another really killer funk recording. Good Lord, I'm still drinking my coffee, guys. And then on the second side, there's an instrumental to that Back Pay song. But anyways, this is if you like funk, if you're into that real dirty, nasty, funky funk, I would definitely check this out. Very, very, very dope funk record. Would love to find an original, but they're like $1,000. I don't know. A lot. Killer trade-in yesterday. Been looking for this jazz record for a long time. Someone brought it in and traded it in yesterday. Very stoked. Very nice gentleman named George from Nashville. George, if you're watching this, thank you, man. I am keeping this one because I've been wanting it. This is Weldon Irvine, Liberated Brother. This is a fantastic. It's jazz, but it's like there's a couple like most of it's more straightforward jazz, just a little bit on the like soul spiritual side, and then there's a couple tracks, the end of the B side, that are like more funky with some synthesizer stuff in it. This is right up my alley when it comes to that stuff. Weldon Irvine, Liberated Brother, great record. And this is why I love owning a shop. Stuff like this just walks in the door and people, you wouldn't normally get offered stuff like that on such a regular basis. Also, it's a big problem because I have an addictive personality. That's why I do not drink or do drugs, because I know I couldn't handle it if it was really good. Coffee and records is all I can really be addicted to right now in my life. I got kids. We're going to save that one until later. This one is one I've been looking for forever. So, I don't know if I'm going to tell a backstory. Might as well. John Lee Hooker plays and sings the blues. Years ago, I was kind of between jobs. This was like maybe, I don't know, a million years ago. And there was this yard sale. And it was on Craigslist or something. And it said all records and books. That's all it was. And I wanted to go to it super bad. But for some reason, it opened on a Saturday or a Friday. It was a Friday and Saturday sale. And I couldn't get there right at Friday because I had a job interview. So I went to this job interview. All I could think about is this freaking yard sale. And I'm like, there's got to be guys in here swamping this yard sale, picking all the good stuff. I couldn't even think straight. I was so upset about it. And I'm talking to this guy trying to get this job. I was trying to get a job. I used to do graphic design, so this was for a graphic design gig. I mean, his mouth was moving, but all I'm doing is thinking about records. That's the way most of my life is, anyways. But finally, I'm like, thanks so much, and I just jetted out of there. Went to the yard sale. I ended up it was more of a gig than a job, but I got it, anyways. Regardless. Scooted over to that yard sale. I was about 4 hours late. So I knew it was going to be picked over. Nothing was going to be there. And let me tell you guys, it was the most epic pick of my life. Well, it wasn't, but it was one of them. It was amazing. All 4 original Vertigo Sabbaths. All the rare. It was all rare stuff, almost. Promos, crazy stuff. Good blues, all that stuff. And he had them priced at the Discogs median. He'd gone through Discogs and he priced them all. So it was really expensive stuff, but it was also a lot of stuff you don't ever see. So, like, it was, And I got in there, I was 4 hours late, and he was like, I tell you what, man. Are you a serious record guy? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Serious as they come. Come on, man. And he's like, if you buy a lot, I think he said if you spend at least $500, I will give you all these records, or whichever record you pick, at 25% of the sticker price. So if it's $100, you get it for $25. And I was like, deal. And I went in there, and dude, I picked like it was heaven. And I remember getting an original pressing of this at the time for $25. And so now these go for more than $100, a lot more than $100. And I've been looking for one ever since. I got that one, and I think I sold it for a pretty penny because it was like mint. That's been one record. There's a handful of records I kind of regret selling. That was one of them because I was like, man, this is worth so much money. I can make my money back just on this one record. So I think I sold it for like $300 or something. I can't remember, but I got this one recently and finally filled that hole I've been looking for because I'm much more of a blues guy now. Then I was like, $300 is $300. I'm not going to spend $300 on any record. And I ended up getting this one for really cheap, like really cheap. So thrilled to finally get this John Lee Hooker original chess. I need to thin out my blues collection, but I probably got 400 blues records. I love blues. A lot of early stuff. Maybe I should do a blues video. Hit me up in the comments and let me know if I should do that. Got this ordered it. You know, you guys know I have 3 #1 favorite records of all time. They're all tied for first place. Led Zeppelin 3, Townes Van Zandt, self-titled. Zombies, Odyssey and Oracle. This is an original promo copy, and it's got the timing strip and everything. This is a pretty clean copy, like I would say BG+. But with this one, it's so quiet at a lot of points. I really need a perfect one. Like, I need a perfect one. And I have been searching and searching and searching. And this one's not perfect, but it's close. It's really nice. Searching for that perfect Dead Mint copy. That's what I want, you know, because it's my favorite record. It's, you know what I mean. So, anyways, I've been searching for one. And this one, my distributor had this, and it popped up. This is a half-speed master from Abbey Road Studios. And so I got it. It's like, why not? The audiophile version of Odyssey and Oracle, why not? It's just not that good, man. It's okay. I will tell you, the original pressing blows it out of the water. You might not be able to afford the original pressing, but it's okay. It's on Repertoire Records. It's pretty good. But it's not like MoFi material. It's not like super audiophile. I was a little disappointed, to be honest. But I got it. It sounds good. If I want to hear a real clean copy, that's what I'm going to go to. But, you know, it's just okay. It's not going to blow you out of the water. Another cool one. This one came out, I think like a month ago. But this is Jackie McLean, Destination, out. So I know enough about jazz to get me in trouble. You know, I really like jazz. I like, you know, pretty much anything on Blue Note, Prestige, Impulse, stuff like that. The early stuff I love. I've always loved. But I've kind of tried to not let it get me. You know, try not to let it take me over, because I know how I am as a collector. I'm really obsessive. And so, you know, with this sound system, I got a few audiophile jazz records, like classic records and like SRX Music Matter stuff, and I've put them on, and it just like the thing just sings, man. I mean, the sound quality is incredible, and you can really tell those real subtle differences between each thing. So it really is a type of music that is very conducive to a good system. You know, if you have a crappy, I can't imagine anybody listening to jazz record on like an all-in-one type thing. You know, it's an immersive experience. So I like to say Blue Note's been putting out a lot of really cool reissues and stuff, because I mean, they have such an expansive catalog, and they're all like, the originals are impossible to find and super expensive and all that stuff. And it's fun to collect the originals, but I am super happy with some of the audiophile stuff that's coming out. So this is one, I mean, it says audiophile, and it does sound spectacular. So for the money, I think these are like mid $20 range. 20, I think the MSRP is like $27.99 or something. But these great Blue Note mastered from the original analog tapes, Kevin Gray cut, great stuff. So this is a great one. My son's playing outside my door, so you might hear him. This is just how life is. This one just came out. The Tone Poets, and I mean, and I'm not. If you know anything about jazz, if you don't know anything about jazz, you know, Blue Note has this series called Tone Poet series. Extremely nice, high quality jackets. The records they sound absolutely fantastic, very well done. And like, they used to be a little bit cheaper. They used to be like $30, and now they're like, I think the MSRP is like $38.99 or something. You know, so I think just with the demand, the market the way it is, things are kind of going up. But still, for like a really good sounding record that's considered, you know, I don't know I don't know what, you know, you would consider audiophile, but really good sounding. This isn't like, you know, there's labels like Wax Time and stuff. They have like $17 reissues. They sound like crap. They're terrible, but these sound fantastic. So great. This is Stanley Turrentine, Blue Mitchell, got Pepper Adams, Grant Green, McCoy Tyner. Great lineup here. But this one just came out, I think, on Friday, and I've listened to this a few times, you know, and like, it's just a little different than what I would normally really like in jazz, but it's a very good record. This is one, a little hot tip for you. So this is Jimmy McGriff, Electric Funk. This is on Blue Note, but this is a Blue Note. This is not very expensive. I think it's like a $20, $25 record. This is dirty, nasty jazz funk. It is killer. Anything with Jimmy McGriff's name on it, I typically try to grab, just because he just plays some of the stankiest, funkiest stuff ever. So, love Jimmy McGriff. I'm gonna do another video soon about like just some of the labels that to look for, because there's like Groove Merchant's one of them. That have like just some funky like jazz funk type stuff, and the records are like $7 or like $5 or $10, really cheap, and it's just funky. But Jimmy McGriff is one. Notoriously, his records are cheap and they're amazing, killer stuff. But that one's electric funk. It's great. I've been looking for a super clean copy. This is one, Jimmy Smith, Root Down. You might want to keep your eyes open for this one. So usually, when you're out digging, you see a Jimmy Smith record, you don't think much. Jimmy Smith records are not normally worth anything. $10 maybe, most of them. There's a few of the earlier Blue Notes that are worth a little bit, but none of them are big money. This is one that, just from my worth standpoint, these are worth, $75 to $100. And this is a stanky funk record. This is killer. Great guitar. Arthur Adams. He plays with a bunch of like funk groups, but just really, really, really killer. Kind of Dennis Coffey raw vibes to it, but amazing guitar work. Really funky funk organ type stuff. This is not your average Jimmy Smith record. This one is worth finding and very, very killer. If you haven't heard it, stream it. And then, speaking of Tone Poet, Blue Note just came out with this Tone Poet box set. I think this is the first box set they've done. And it's same thing, master from original audio takes, Kevin Gray. Very well done. Everything they do is really high quality. This is a very high quality box set. It was kind of expensive. You could probably still get them. But Ornette Coleman is, this is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Ornette Coleman records in one. But Ornette Coleman is kind of a little bit out there with jazz, a little bit more on the free jazz. By and large, he's a little bit more free jazz. I'll just go through some of these with you. They're probably out of order. Love Call. This is Jackie McLean with Ornette Coleman. New and Old Gospel. This is Golden Circle. So that's volume 2. There's like a booklet that comes with it. This is volume 1. This is New York Is Now. That one's kind of real out there. And this is The Empty Foxhole. So if you want a real expansive unboxing of it, I would encourage you to check out Mike from the In Groove. He has a really good unboxing video that he did. He always does killer unboxing videos, but I'm sure if you follow me, you follow him. But anyways, and so I got this, and I'm just kind of getting my feet wet with Ornette Coleman. I've not listened to him a ton, but I was a little bit in the past. But he's definitely on the weirder side of jazz, which I'm not closed off to. I had it on in the shop the other day, and this guy comes up and he's like, "What is this?" And then I'm like so in the zone working and listening to music and stuff. Like, to me, it's not weird. But then I was like, oh yeah, this is Ornette Coleman and it's weird. I should probably turn this off. But anyways, so about the news segment. So this was in the news. These ladies came in. They're like, hey, we need somebody just local to talk about traffic. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't really care. I mean, it's not that I don't care about traffic, but it is what it is. And there's nothing I can do to change it. But I had a chance to get my shop on the news. See, although you guys watch me on YouTube, in Charlotte, not everybody knows I'm there. So, there's a lot of people that come and they're like, we didn't even know you were here. And I've been there for 2.5 years. We're just kind of on the side there. We're not the big record store in town or anything like that. So anything I can do to let people know that, A, we buy records, and C, we sell records, and 2, we're here, and so I want to have, I get my name out there as much as I can as far as like with the locals and stuff. So I was like, sure, come on in, we'll do it. And so I just started joking around with them and laughing and holding up records that have to do with roads and driving and stuff. And it was just a bunch of fun. And they had fun and I had fun. And they're like, we're going to make a whole deal out of this, but we'll just make the whole segment about your shop. And I will warn you, it is a little bit of a reach that this has anything to do with roads, because it barely does. But I did as many road-related puns. Now, before you say, you should have mentioned this record or you should have mentioned that record, they were in there for like an hour and a half, and I was in there pulling out records and doing record puns for like an hour and a half. So they only chose like a minute of what I said. So there's a good chance I did every record pun I could possibly imagine. But it was a lot of fun, and we had a good time doing it. So to close out the video, here is my 15 minutes of fame on the local news.
Rainy Friday here, making it a challenge to drive in and around the Queen City today. And it seems like no matter where you are, there's one thing in common. The paint on the road is hard to see. And when you reach out to us like you have here, we set to figure out why that is. Queen City News reporter Maureen Wirtz joins us now live near 485 at Independence Boulevard near Matthews. Maureen, this is a common problem for all around the area.
Brian, it's something we definitely see when it's rain, and the reason why the paint is so hard to see, well, if you listen, you have your answer. It's the inspiration behind some of the greatest hits.
Highway to Hell? Come on. Does that sound familiar?
In some of life's greatest memories.
So, Deep Purple has a song called Speed King. I used to listen to that when I was in driver's ed and get in trouble for going too fast. That's a true story.
While the drive isn't moving enough to fill one side of a 12-inch vinyl.
First record was Bob Dylan's Highway 61 Revisited. It was my first, favorite record that I had.
Dylan Smith, who owns Noble Records, knows quite a bit about the loops around Charlotte.
I'm in the shop 2 days a week, and then 5 days a week I'm out driving around finding records and looking and digging and all that. And so I drive the loop a lot.
And on days when it rains, it makes it a little hard to see where he's going.
With the rain, kind of complicates it a little bit more.
Part of that problem, the paint that's barely there on the highways.
I was in a car accident yesterday. I was rear-ended yesterday, as a matter of fact.
North Carolina Department of Transportation officials say,
ooh, there's one called traffic. Hold on. Somewhere.
All of the traffic is causing the paint to wear off. And they're doing the best they can to keep up.
One thing we can't sell is a record that skips. And if there's a loop on it and just skips, no one likes that. No one likes a record that's just doing the same thing over and over and over again.
While the roads in real life
ride, this is not a safe place.
May not be as perfectly preserved as one of his records.
His driver's license,
He says, at least there's music to go with them.
You've got the cars, great band, they need a good road.
So transportation officials say the paint is just not made to last that long. So when you have all of this traffic here in Charlotte, it just wears it down. But they did tell us that they are constantly looking for new ways to make the roads brighter, but it's just a work in progress. Live near Matthews, Maureen Wirtz, please.